Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel. This is the Lawn Care Life. I want to go through a calendar year for you on Bermuda grass, kind of tell you what I'm doing, maybe give you some other options of what you can do, bare minimum plan to up to, kind of what I'm doing for my customers and on my own lawn. I have a Bermuda lawn and we just want to help you, educate you on Bermuda grass and how to make it look good this year. Let's get started right now. Today's video is sponsored by my friends at Graham Spray Equipment. The rig on the back of my spray truck was built by Graham Spray Equipment. They do a great job, customized rigs for people. I've got a 400-gallon split tank that works fantastic for my business. I'm filming this late winter. This is my Bermuda lawn. I've got several acres. And the interesting thing about Bermuda, what I like about it is it just really spreads fast. So I didn't sod my yard, I just plugged it. There's videos on YouTube where I covered several acres and to be honest, didn't really spend a whole lot of money. Now it took some time and I had to get it flattened out. I've got a lot of fertilizer and things like that. But Bermuda can be a great looking lawn. I try to mow mine very short, or well, what I consider short, 1.5 inches, I think is as low as my mower goes. So I cut it 1.5 inches this time of year, and I try to keep it that low as long as possible. Sometimes in the summer it gets growing too fast and I don't mow it often enough, and I have to gradually raise it up to maybe 2 inches. So I'm gonna go and show you some of the products that I'm using on my lawn and then talk to you about when to put those out to get the results you're looking for. On that point, timing is very important. Sometimes people put out they go and buy some big box store and buy a weed and feed or something, but they put it out and it could have got results from it, but the timing was not done correctly, and so they're disappointed. All right, I decided to set these on the hood of my truck here. So let's start at the beginning of the year. I'm assuming if you have a Bermuda lawn, you're living where the weather is relatively warm. Most people that have Bermuda grass are gonna live in a little bit warmer climate. So I'm in Alabama, near Birmingham, Alabama. So timing's gonna vary for some of you. Let's say if you lived in Florida or South Texas, that it's gonna be warmer earlier, not gonna get as cool. It's fast in the fall, warmer early in the year. You may have to make some adjustments to the timing here, but the principles remain the same. Looking for programs, I've got documents on my website. There's a weed control cheat sheet that I have at lawncarelife.com that tells you what to use for certain, that tells you products that I use, the rates, what grass types they're labeled for, and then there's also weed control and fertilization documents, and they have different programs for weed control and different warm season grass types. So anyway, first of the year, I get out there and I'm spraying January the 2nd, okay, usually, if the weather is nice, okay, sometimes it's cold. And I want to take advantage of all the warm days I can early in the year, and I'm using this active ingredient there, you can see it's prodiamine. So this is Resolute. So this is my pre-emergent. I'm trying to get this down before the warm season weeds germinate. So this isn't going to do anything for the cool season weeds that are already in the lawn early in the year. So if I'm seeing poannual, henbit, purple dead nettle, geraniums, dandelions, all kind of stuff, this is not going to help with those. What I'm trying to do is get ahead of the summer weeds, the crabgrass, the spurge, the chamber bitter, all the different things that are going to be starting to sprout when the weather gets warmed up. So that's why I get out there, I'm spraying it in January the 2nd. I start, and I've got hundreds of customers, and it may take me to mid-February to get them all done. I want to make sure it's down and watered in before the crabgrass germinates, which typically is when soil temperatures reach 55 degrees roughly, or stay there for a few days. And that's soil temperature, not air temperature. So better to be early than late on this. If you are late and you watching this late and you think, oh, the soil temperatures we've been getting up in the 70s, the soil temperatures are probably 55 degrees, you may want to go with a product like Dimension or something, which can help control baby crabgrass. That's what we do when a customer signs up late in the spring, but I would much prefer to use this product before the crabgrass germinates. Works great. Now I mix it with a product like this, triplets, a 3-way herbicide. It's got 2,4-D in it. You could use 2,4-D or other products, metsulfuron, things like that. I put atrazine in there, and I'll put some links in the description of some of these products. If I know some of you, it may sound a little bit like a foreign language, but this is my post-emergent. So if there's dandelions in the yard and and broadleaf weeds, this is going to help with those. Now, if your yard's full of Poa annua, I'll show you some of that right now. You know, you got Poa everywhere. It looks like this with the big seed head on it. It's not going to do anything for that. You'd have to use a specialty product that works for grassy weeds, something like Revolver or Negate or Katana or Certainty or Celsius, things like that, Tribute Total. Those will all work on Poa and grassy weeds, but you may just want to let that die out when the weather gets hot and go with this to make your yard look good in the summer. So if you just put these two products out, you could be doing great. Now, what I used to do, I'd put this out round one, or you know, starting in January through mid-February. Then I'd turn around and do basically another round of it. I would go back with more prodiamine and then another round of triplet, and you know, hoping to extend my pre-emergent even further into the summer. This year I'm mixing things up a little bit. So round two, which I'm delaying until about March the 1st on into, you know, early April, I'm going to go with this 3808. I buy my fertilizers from Harold's and weed control products. So I'm going to go with this 3808, and this is a slow release. So really, you know, March 1st is going to be early to put fertilizer out in my area, but it's a polymer coated fertilizer, so it's going to sit there until the weather starts warming up, and then it'll begin releasing the nutrients. So I'm using the chemistry to my advantage, being able to put it out really before the grass would benefit from it, but because of polymer coating, it's gonna work to my advantage. This is something golf courses do a lot of times, put out fertilizer way ahead of when the grass needs it, but if it's got the polymer coating, it'll release when the weather starts to warm up. So that's what I'm doing, going with this round two, you know, March on into early April. So then as I get into round three, I go to spectacle flow, and this is going to be late April on into May. And what happened last year, I just got killed with doveweed, kalinga, chamber bitter, things like that. So instead of going 2 rounds of prodiamine like I was doing before, I'm going to go prodiamine, then fertilizer, then come back with spectacle, 6 ounces of spectacle per acre in round three. Like I said, for me, late April through May, maybe even early June. That's supposed to be a great time for the doveweed, and hopefully going to help tremendously with the summer weeds. So this is a more expensive product than doing 2 applications of this. And because of wanting to put this out in May for the optimal time for weed control, I had to shift my fertilizer schedule around, but I put the fertilizer out early before that, slow release, then come back with the spectacle. Then round 4, I'm coming back with more slow release fertilizer. So this is a 3807. The 38 is the nitrogen. So it's 38% nitrogen, which is going to help the grass to grow and give it green color. And it's a 50-pound bag. So if you take the 38 and divide by 2, that a bag that you're putting out here. So that's 19 pounds of nitrogen for every 50-pound bag. Well, let's say I've got a 10,000 square foot yard, and you put out 1 bag, then you're putting out 1.9 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. You can do more than that. I mean, you can put a lot of nitrogen on the Bermuda, and this again is going to be a slow release product. It's hopefully going to feed it for the rest of the growing season. But I could put more than that, but you know, somewhere in the neighborhood of the 2 pounds per 1,000 square feet should give it some color, and hopefully the color is going to last for a long time. If you don't mind mowing all the time, you can put way more fertilizer in that, but obviously there's some expense involved with that as well. All right, round 5, you're on in the summer, and at this point I'm just basically spot treating weeds, trying not to blanket the yard if I don't have to, but you're likely to have nut sedge and spurge and things like that popping up. So I use products like these. Tribute Total, if you want something, just one product to take care of grassy weeds, broadleaf weeds, and sedges. If you use a product like that, it's going to be more expensive. Sometimes I'll combine products, like I'll put Celsius and Certainty together. So Certainty is going to be good on nut sedge and kalinga. The Celsius can also help on the kalinga, but also help with some broadleaf and grassy weeds. Or you might mix Pro Sedge with Change Up, things like that. So I'll do a broadleaf product with a sedge product oftentimes. Then when you get into the fall, for me, this is usually mid-September on into October. I'm going with Spectacle again. You could use the prodiamine, but Spectacle is going to give you superior results most of the time for Poa annua and cool season weeds. So I'm using 6.5 ounces of Spectacle in the fall. Some people will do 3 ounces and come back with another 3 ounces. And then I put the simazine in there with it. That's this particular product. See, active ingredient. Simazine, sometimes putting 2,4-D in there. You could use a triplet or something like that for broadleaf weed control. And hopefully the combination of the Spectacle and the Princep can help keep POA out of your Bermuda lawn. And when we get into wintertime, November, December, I put lime on the lawn. We have acidic soil in our area. You may live in an area where the soil is not acidic and you may not need a lime, but we kind of build it into the program. If the pH gets too low on your soil, it makes it where the grass, your plant there, is not able to use the nutrients that you're putting out for the lawn. So for instance, you may see that you fertilize the lawn and it doesn't get the results that you were looking for. It's possible that your pH is low. Sometimes wild onions and weeds like broom sedge and things can be indicator plants that you may have a low pH. All right, I hope that made sense, walking through the calendar year for you and helping you know what to do on your Bermuda lawn. This is also very similar to what I'm doing on the Zoysia yards. Usually on the Zoysia yards, I also do grub control. You can do grub control in your Bermuda lawn, typically in May or June, sometime like that. Sometimes the grub control is attached to my fertilizer that I put out for the Zoysia lawns, or you can get a separate product for grub control if you want to do that. A lot of resources at lawncarelife.com if you're thinking about getting a weed control and fertilization business. The Weed Control and Fertilization Academy is a great resource. There's also weed control and fertilization documents. There's a mosquito spraying course. There's courses for those that are mowing grass. Lots of things, lawncarelife.com. Leave me a comment, share it, like it, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.